one thing for sure, this is going to be a very unique episode. This is a place where I want you to just leave everything that you're doing. This is a place where we're just thinking and looking at situations that, God came through for us. We're at a place of gratitude. And one thing I love about this episode is very unique. It's not scripted. So we're just going as per how the Holy Spirit leads us. One thing that I did not even look forward was to ever have such an episode. But the Holy Spirit yesterday was just ministering unto me much power. And he was just leading me to the place of thanksgiving. And at this point, he was just making me realize that most of us, including me and you, we would look so much at the many material things that the Lord has given us, and we forget about the simple things that are not actually simple, but to us we see as simple and take for granted. But in real sense, it took so much for God to give us. You understand? Yeah. And the fact that there are people who do not have that privilege because maybe they are sick, they cannot be able to access, free oxygen. It placed me at a place of reflection, you understand? To think about the goodness of the Lord, you understand? No, Mondays are those days that people look at, how their schedule is for the week. They set their goals, their expectations. But the Holy Spirit was like, no. People need to understand that it was God that gave them the life that they have. And that's when I realized that, we take things for granted. So I don't know about you. I want you to just take this moment to think about the many things God has done for you. I want you to look at the material things alone. I want you to think about, the different scenarios that you actually felt that, this one I'm alone. And everyone felt like, we can't help her. Or maybe even people distanced themselves and you are left with only you and God. And you saw God come through for you. You understand? Yes, it was just one person. Maybe you had 10 friends, but you just found yourself that it was only God who was there for you. So today is kind of so deep because we are now trying to think about the things that normally would make us so much emotional, because when we think about those scenarios and how scared we were. I remember the story of Peter. Peter, when he saw Jesus, and then Jesus was like, you have to come out of the boat. And now he's now touching the ground. He had never walked on water. This is the first time. And he felt so scared. But Jesus was like, what? Don't worry, I got you. And he did not sink, you understand? He felt that maybe I was going to sink, but he did not sink. That's the same scenario even here. You find yourself in situations where you feel like, if God does not help me in this, then I don't know anyone else would help me. You'd find, you are in situations where everyone is talking so bad about you because everyone has their different perception because of what is going on in your life. And there's a lot of questions here and there that are unanswered. Then God comes and seizes the situation or calms the situation, and you now go back to normal. Have you ever just sat down and just be like, God, if it was not you in this situation, I actually do not know where I would have started, where I would have gone. You understand? And that's why today this episode is not scripted. This episode is actually going with the flow of the Holy Spirit. So how the Holy Spirit leads us from the first to the last, that's how we're going to end it. You understand? Because God was just like, no, Mondays are busy. Mondays are, entirely booked. But how about you just take some few minutes, some few seconds of your time to just think about the goodness of the Lord. What is it that you can remember God for? It looks minute, but it's so big, in his eyes. You understand? So it made me remember during that time when I was having my accident. I actually talk about this story so much. Was it in 2024, 2025? I don't know. My mom can actually tell us there. So I can't remember, but the exact time, because it feels like yesterday. You understand? So I remember when I was just seated there. I was actually the passenger princess. I was not expecting that this vehicle was going to overturn. These are things I see on movies. These are things that I actually can never imagine. Even you right now, to the one who's watching me, you cannot imagine a vehicle overturning, to which I don't pray that is your case. It's a very traumatic experience. You are there at the passenger seat, you just hear a sound and the brakes have failed, and you're there at the passenger seats, and you know that you are just near a bridge, but you're not sure where you are. You understand? Because the vehicle is overturning and overturning and overturning. To a point that I actually felt that, we have actually died, because I think I lost conscious, and because at that time when the vehicle is overturning, of course, you're all screaming, you understand? Because of panic, but there's nothing you can do. It reaches a point where your soul just rests and is like, it is what it is, you understand? I just came to that place where I thought I was dead. I don't know, you guys, for a very moment I used to hear death, I would run away, because death is not something to joke about. But after having this traumatic experience, I remember like how it was so hard. You understand? How it was so hard to come out of it, because remembering how you guys stand, and then all of a sudden you actually find yourself that you can come out of the vehicle. I was actually, the other people who had been rescued, you understand? I had to come like 10 minutes later after hearing people call me multiple times, meaning I was not even in my senses. I had really lost conscious, you understand? And the first thing I could remember when we are just being in that vehicle is, where is my mom? You understand? And I would ask people, where is my mom? Where is my mom? And funny thing, she was still in the vehicle. She had not yet come out. So when she had me also, I think she was also unconscious. She had me and then she responded. So for me, the reason why I keep on repeating this particular testimony is because for me, I saw God. I saw God from the beginning, you understand? From the beginning, because maybe I would have lost my legs, as the doctor had said. Maybe I would have lost my hands, you understand? And that's why I have this scar over here. Yeah, so I look at those things and I see the mercy of God. And let me tell you, I've never shared this. This was a place where I really realized that, human beings can really be wicked. Because this was the point where a lot of people, when they heard about it, they were just coming to confirm whether we are dead. They were not coming to confirm whether we are okay. You understand? Only few people that took us to the hospital. But most people were talking so negative. I remember when those people had realized, because I had posted it on my TikTok, like most people were just like, you know what, have you hurt your face? It's like there are people who are just against me because of certain things. There are people who are against me because of my face. So they wanted my face to be damaged. There are people who wanted my legs to be damaged. There are people who wanted my hands to be damaged. You understand? Because of how the negative they would talk about. They're like, hey, I hope you have not hurt your face. The way you love yourself. I hope you have not hurt your face. Hey, I hope you have not hurt your legs. You understand? And I remember this time now, I called my friend. Shout out to Lucy. If you ever find this video, thank you so much. So I have this longtime friend of mine. She's called Lucy. Yeah, we kind of have a hit and run kind of relationship. But she's my friend. She's my G. I understand things happen in life. And one thing God has given me is the tolerance to love her fully, because she has always been there during my difficult time. There's so many things that this girl has really come through for me. I remember Lucy saw the news on TikTok and she immediately called me. And she found me at a place where I was really breaking down. I was really scared. I was really like, what is going to happen? Because already I'm limping. Once you're getting out of the car, you don't realize that you are injured until sometimes when we have actually been taken to the dispensary first before we actually refer to the hospital. And so Lucy tells me, Ash, have faith, because I had gone for my first appointment to the doctor, and they were telling me, what, the scenario looks bad. It's like you are not going to be walking. You understand? You need a surgery so that you can be able to walk. For a moment, I was just like, God, no, I don't want, this is not my portion. This is not my portion. But I was crying. And you still understanding that my mom was also injured. We are also injured. You understand? So she can't provide that emotional support, but she really tried to be there. Shout out to mom. So Lucy called me and told me, like, Ash, I want you to believe in God. I've known you because we met in church. Like, there's a certain drama that was happening. Then I was rescuing her. Then we became friends. You understand? Shout out to Lucy again. So that's how I became friends with her. So she called me and she was just like, Ash, remember how far God has taken you. You understand? Yes, remember how I've known you, even if, things are not going well, because she had known my life, and she was like, what, even if, you have not been close so much to God, one thing I know is that God loves you, because on the look of things, you'd have lost your life, but God did not allow that to happen. So what you're going to do, yes, you have an appointment tomorrow, and this is the case. We're going to pray about it. She actually administered this verse that I remember every single day, to remember that, during the time where the bones were being spoken to, yes. And, God was telling Ezekiel that, what, these bones are coming alive, and they came alive, and they actually even built muscles, you understand? And that it was an evidence for nations to know that God is a true living God. If he can be able to put the bones together, like, what else can God not do? And I held on to that word. And mind you, I was not even in my current church where we are holding into the word of God. So I was holding on to it. And we prayed, and she was like, what, I'm going to take you. Oh my God, salute you, girl. So she was like, you know what, I'm willing to take you. I don't have much, but I think what I can give is emotional support. So we went there, you know, and good news is that when we went there, and the good thing is that when the doctor saw me, he actually gave us better results, you know, because we are now meeting is he called a not a psychiatrist, it's called not pediatrician, yeah, orthopediatrician. We were meeting an orthopediatrician. So he told us that, you know what, with few therapy, like with me undergoing therapy, I was going to actually do what? I was going to get better. And the good thing, I was a gym girly. By the girls, do gym. It helps you in such scenarios. It helps you because, you know, your muscles are used to moving. You understand? Yes, I'm also going back to the gym. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to go back to the gym. So I, at this point, I felt her support. She was there with me even when you were waiting, you know, the long queues and everything. Lucy was there, you know, but I don't see Lucy in this place. I see God providing Lucy, because remember, we were not talking with her. She just saw the post on TikTok and she felt, this is my friend, let me call her. I have her number, let me call her. And like other people, they left me, you understand, which they don't owe me help, but they left me. For them, it was a happy moment for them, you understand. Even those that I felt like, you know, were close to me did not even care if, you know, they were just thinking about negative things. Is my face okay? Is my hands okay? You understand? But Lucy, God provided Lucy for me as somebody who was my support system. She went with me. I remember we were with her, with my mom. And throughout this process, she was there. I can't complain. She was there. You understand? And Lucy was this person who would walk, will help me walk, because I was limping at that time. And that's why they were like, no, we better check because of the effect of the accident. So we went, and that's why now, like when I started going to the therapy, like Lucy went with me. She was there. Even when I was being given medication, she was there. She would come visit me, you understand? And she was also facing a lot in life at that time, to which maybe she's going to share one time, because I'm going to bring her. Definitely one of these days, we're going to bring her here. So because I want her to also inspire people with time. So yeah, so I look at those scenarios where I used to limp. Have you ever been at a place where I used to meet they're called cripples? They admit people who are crippled on the road or had a disability on the road, and I would see how they were struggling to just gain mobility to where they were going. And I understood them because I could also not walk. You understand? I would see how people would harass me at times because I am not able to walk. And imagine how this cripple feels every single day when they are trying to move from one public transport to another. You understand? With no moral support. You understand? I was like, God humbled me to a place that I realized that, you know what, even having my legs, even having my face, you understand, it is God. You understand? So I was at a place where God humbled me to a place where I only saw him, because at that time, you know, Lucy could not stay with us, but we were just me and my mom. She's injured on her right. I'm injured on my left. I am a left-handed, for those people who know me. My mom is a right-handed. So anytime we want to bathe, I help her, because now we could not shower. But then we don't shower for weeks. So we used to just wipe ourselves. So my mom would use her right hand and help me where I cannot reach. My mom would use her left hand to help me where I could not reach. I use my right hand to go and help her. You understand? Where she cannot reach. That's why I understood these things and I saw God, you know. I would be visited, you know, by the time even the church has, but then I also thank the church. God provided the church for me because they were there to be like, you know what, where can we help? You know, they helped with some of the hospital bills, to which I saw God. Only God took care of us, you know. The youths at my church that time, they would come see me, but they're a big shout out to you. Like, they just came to just see me. It was one Sunday, but it was good to just know that people are there for you. You understand? They came, they brought me fruits, you know. I just saw God take care of me. But the highlights that has made me to also think about it, because it was the Holy Spirit administering to me so that I can be able to also reach out to someone who has been taking things for granted. I could not walk, meaning I could not work. I had to pause my life. And remember, this thing has happened one fateful Sunday where we are just happy about going for brunch with my mom, you understand? And we are like, you know what, you know, we are just free birds. Me and my mom, we just enjoy life. So we were just like, you know what, this Sunday we need to go for for brunch, you need to go. I mean, there's a certain garden we love over here, very beautiful garden. If you come to Kenya, guys, I can really take you there. Okay, it's a very beautiful garden, and lunch on me. So we were just there. We were enjoying our moments. We took photos, and even those people who are on TikTok, they can actually attest. And if I find a way, I'm going to put those photos over, those videos over there of that fateful day, so that I can also even show God. I am very grateful that I was busy taking my photos like this. I was busy taking videos. My mom was, it was a very good time. We were taking videos. We were enjoying our meals. You understand? As you can see over here, it was a very good Sunday, not knowing that what was ahead of us. You understand? At a place where maybe if we'd have died at that time, I was laughing with my mom and telling her, if we'd have died at that time, people would just say, oh, these people went out and they posted their photos because there was Wi-Fi over there, and then that's how they died. You understand? But God was like, you know what? God forbid, my children will not die in a disgraceful manner like that. They serve me, they worship me. At that time, my mom had gone to church. I was now streaming online, my now church. You understand? Yeah, because or certain reasons. So yeah, I was streaming there, and at that time, now I just decided, let me pray, because we're about to have brunch and we're going to be going far and we're going to be using different kinds of vehicles. Let me just be at a place where I'm just thanking God and praising him and asking him to lead us. And he did. By the way, God came in good time. So it was at a place where it was so lonely. Most of the times it's me and my mom. And God has placed us at that place, and I'm going to tell you why. If you choose God, you're going to have a lonely life, but it's going to be sweet once you enjoy. By the way, I enjoy the loneliness that comes with knowing God, because God protects you from outside noise. We're going to talk about it one day. So we are now reflecting, okay? So reflect with me as you reflect about the goodness of the Lord on your end. So I'm looking at this scenario. I can't walk, I can't sleep on this side. I can only sleep on one side. There's this side that I can't sleep on, you understand? So it was a very difficult moment for me. I could not lift things, you understand? But one thing I thank God, my mom was not hurt that much, you understand? They look bad, but I'm glad it was only scars that were left. It was not something bigger, you understand? So I look at these scenarios and I was like, God, you saw us, you saw me and my mom. You saw we don't have any other help. You provided one, Lucy, to take me to hospital, be there for me, encourage me, you understand? And that's why I love Lucy. Me, even if we don't talk for 5 years, if she talks to me and she tells me, Ash, I have a problem, I will always go, because she was there for me. She's been a real G, you understand? And you should do that to your friends. Just because you don't talk with someone every single day does not mean that person is not your friend, you understand? So now I look at this scenario, I'm like, you know what, Lucy, God provided Lucy to be there for me, to also give me encouragement. There's also, God provided the church. There's this amazing girl called Maggie. One day I'm also going to bring her here. Yes, with time, I'm going to bring her here. Maggie was also very supportive, together with his dad, together with the wife, together with his dad, together with the mom. They were so good to us. You understand? God provided them. It was not ordinary. For those people who have been in church, you understand, it's not ordinary to just find people who, come to see you. Because once we told them, we actually called them because we wanted people who would help us to come back home, because we could not be able to, walk. So they came, the whole family. They were so supportive. They kept on checking up on us, you understand? So, and that made me see God. God will provide you help. Because how would you have gone? You understand? It would have been different. I remember, like, it was a very faithful night. They were there with us. They were so patient. They didn't have to, but they were so patient to help us go through the procedures. I remember I was being injected on my thigh. I don't know what it helps. I think it helps with the pain. And Maggie was there to hold me, and she was very supportive. You understand? So I look at these things and I see the favor of the Lord, assuming I was not knowing God, assuming that as much as I was lukewarm, I was here, I was there, like, and assume I did not even just allow God to let me, be part of a church. What would I have done? You understand? If I was the kind of friend who just disgraces people, what could I have done? You understand? Like, God gave me the right people at the right time. And that's why today I think about God. I think about the goodness of the Lord. And I'm just left with words of gratitude. I'm just left with this situation. I would not have been able to do it. And that's why today I'm publicly saying it. You understand? And as we continue also, there's another amazing story about my mom. Like, my mom was at a place where one time during COVID was so high in Kenya. And then, it's not like the first world countries that, they know how to deal with COVID. For us, it was the first time that we are getting to understand what COVID is. You understand, wear a mask and all those things. And imagine, she kept on doing all those things. I remember she had not retired at that time, so she used to go to school. So she caught a very bad pneumonia. And at that time, pneumonia was COVID to everyone. So we had not known it had gotten worse until one day my uncle called me. And I was just talking to my uncle, and I told my uncle, by the way, uncle, I noticed, shout out to my uncle Oscar. I was like, uncle, I noticed that, I'm in the sitting room, I can actually hear her in the bedroom, breathing. And I would find her, she doesn't want to do anything because, her body is weak. And so she sleeps she sleeps most of the times, you understand? So and my mom is the kind of a person you tell her, go to the hospital. She's like, no, I'm fine. She has that habit. And mom, if you're watching me, you need to stop that. You understand? Yeah. So when she's sick, she doesn't agree so quickly that she's sick. You understand? Yeah. So me used to tell her, where you need to. I used to tell her, you have to go to the hospital. We can't continue like that. And then me, I'm very strict. I was like, I can't have a sick person in this home. At that time, she could not hear me. But my uncle, because she respects my uncle, she decided to go and see, not knowing. Now here is the tea, not knowing that the situation was actually worse. So I remember we take a taxi because she can't walk. I take a taxi to the first hospital, and then they just say, let's look at her oxygen levels. Oh my God, her oxygen levels were at 50. And they say, no, this one is a very bad scenario, or rather a very bad situation. You need to take her to another county hospital, which is like an hour, 30 minutes or 50 minutes. So she has not been given any oxygen to help her go because they're not using an ambulance at that time. They're not telling me how bad the situation is, but I was told to take her as fast as possible, because if I don't take her as fast as possible, we might lose her. You can imagine. So this time, this is a period where I'm also joining campus. So I'm like, why is this thing happening? So everything is online. Everyone has that scare. So this is what happened. If you want to know, the devil is a liar, but God is the greatest. We were almost at a slope near my campus, okay? So we still have like 1 hour, 30 minutes to go to the county hospital. All of a sudden, the driver tells me the vehicle does not have fuel. And remember, I've been told I need to be careful and I need to run as fast as possible. Mom has reached the county hospital because her oxygen levels are down. So now the driver has to go to a nearby petrol station to go and get oil. Here in Kenya, we don't use gas, we use oil. To go and get oil so that we can be able to take her to the hospital. The petrol station is like 30 minutes, 20 minutes. So you have to take a bike, you understand? Under my expense that I had not known or pictured that was going to happen. So because I want my mom to be alive, at that time I'm just 19 years old. So, I'm just trying to play big girl at this point. So he goes and takes the fuel and comes back. And now they have to look for something that like a funnel like this, so they can be able to now put the fuel inside the vehicle so that we can go. So an hour is still passing. My mom's oxygen levels are worse. We go to now the county hospital. They give us the admission, but of course we have to do some paperwork. So, but the good thing is, as we continue the paperwork, they are busy attending to my mom. Tell me why my mom is taken to not even ICU, HDU. So the first time I go there, I see this man. He had weight. This man was a very big-bodied man. He had weight, but this man could not breathe. Let me tell you, and that's why I'm telling you, if you can see that, if you find yourself every single day that you are breathing, no, there are people who cannot breathe. They have to be under oxygen. He was breathing. It was so bad. It was so bad. You understand? And he has machines. He has, different pipes, that have been placed, injections everywhere. He's really struggling. And at the same time, you don't even know how to feel concerning that, because on this other end, your mom is the one who's being admitted to that HDU, not even ICU, HDU. So I tell God no. So at that time, I'm coordinating. What I've not told you previously, I was coordinating with my uncle. So I was just telling my uncle the progress, because remember, he was the one who advised us, because he's a medic. He told us, let us go and I should go and take my mom to the hospital. And then we kept on coordinating so that he could also now look for an ambulance, so that by the time I'm in the county hospital, in case we need referral, actually use that ambulance. So that is what happened. So by the time I'm there, I find my uncle already there, and we decide, he recommends that I just shift my mom to another major hospital. So in that major hospital that we were thinking of going to get admissions, remember it's COVID time, so they do not accept just walk-in. They don't accept walk-in admissions until you have a certain amount of money. Did you know that my mom was going to be sick? No. And I know Americans or people from the Europe are going to say, no, you need to have a kitty for such occasions, until one day it reaches to a point where you have been told you have a certain disease that is beyond your budget. That's when you realize that here in Africa, I am sure those people who have insurances, very few, you understand? And plus, at this time, my mom used to have an insurance, but now she has retired. So when you retire, the government here in Africa, they do not, specifically my country, they stop now putting you under that cover. You understand? Yes, it's only for those people who are now under employment. You get me? At least you have understood. So that is why we did not have the cover. But initially, we used to have covers to go to hospital. Yes, me never used to have an issue. If I wanted to go and exchange my glasses, I needed to go and just go for a checkup, we'd go. Because we were under a cover, and it was actually covering me, okay? And covering my mom. So this time we don't have those covers. So we have reached at this general hospital, and it's now the biggest county hospital. And then they tell us, unless you have this amount of money, you cannot admit her. Have you ever sat down? Now, you know, me, I don't actually know the information yet. But now they decide, I asked my uncle, because my uncle was the one who was trying to, you know, he was very supportive. He was here and there trying to help, you know, my mom get quick admissions. So when I was there, I actually now overheard. That was what was going on. And my mom also overheard. And you can remember the pain. You can imagine the pain of your mom telling those doctors, why don't you want to attend to me? And she's even, you know, she has the oxygen on. She's so weak. And at this point, me, I've even lost hope. I am seated at the exit. I'm seated at the exit of the ambulance. Because I'm like, you know, are these people going to allow my mom to die? At this point, I'm not even thinking about how God is going to help us. I'm just like, are these people going to allow my mom to die? And why does it have to be at this point? You understand? When I'm now joined in campus, it's just actually my first semester. You understand? I am looking forward to many beautiful things. So I was very much depressed. At that time, depression came in. I'm going to show you also how my depression kick-started and every other thing, so that you can see the goodness of the Lord. Today, you're just reflecting. In case God healed you and you forgot to say thank you, this is going to be that episode. So we're just going as per how the Holy Spirit leads us. So she finally got the admission after so many hours, you know, that we have stayed in the cold. Remember, I have to still go back home because it's almost like 2 hours now back home, because you know, I have to still guard the home. I have to not guard the home, but I need to like be present in the home. You understand? So that people cannot. We're not the type to actually share our information. We actually share things after we have gone through them. Like we have gone through them just like now. So what actually happens? My mom gets admission at around 10 p.m. I still have to come back home. The good thing is that our area is very safe, and I thank God for that. So I have to go back. So I tell my mom, I didn't want to leave my mom, but she assured me that she was okay. And I shouldn't worry, that I'll find her tomorrow. So because we're in constant communication with my uncle was like, no, I'm going to keep you updated. Here is your fare. You go back home. So I went home, and let me tell you the struggle of you trying to go through your online classes, because at that time everything was online. Still do your cards, you understand? At the same time, you have a sick mom who you have to go every single day to go and attend to her. And that's why, honestly, I just say thank you, God. And at this point, I go and see her every single day. She's on oxygen. I look at her, I'm like, what? This is the worst scenario case, you understand? At that time, I have to mature up from just being my mom's baby to being the person who is just overall looking after my mom, you understand? I have to make sure that I wake up so early so that I can make it in good time, because our home is very much far, and I needed to be there because there's also a long queue also. And at some point you have to also argue with the guards because the queue is so long, and you have to show them that you are going to the emergency room because you know what, you have a mom who is sick, you understand? And just making them understand that yours is urgent. Yet honestly speaking, there are even people who are on that queue and they have worst case scenario. But I'm looking at a place of, what if my mom needs to go to the toilet? What if my mom wants something? You understand? And I remember God providing. And that's why I always say, guys, before I even tell you what really happened, I remember God providing, you know, someone who normally, when you look at them at the streets, in Kenya we have street families. So there's this one lady who had pneumonia. She was from the street family, and this lady was the one taking care of my mom when I was not there. They became friends. My mom is still in the oxygen. She's still using the oxygen. But this lady would be there to help my mom eat, to help my mom go to the loo or the toilet, to help her, you know, when maybe you have brought her some fruits, my mom would share with her, you understand? And they became friends to a point that, you know, with time, doctor recommended that my mom had to actually get off oxygen. I'm going to also explain how that happened, because it's another shocking story that you'll hear and you'll be like, whoa. So I'm navigating through all that, and now I've reached at a place where, you know what, it's kind of overwhelming, because I have to attend to my classes. I still have to go and see my mom every single morning. I'd cry every single day because I was using public transport. I would sit there at the front, just cry and just be like, you know, why did it have to happen? And then remembering the struggles that we have had gone, you know, for those people who have actually been with a single mom, they understand the struggles that our parents have to go through. So I've seen mom being like our dad, our mom, you understand? And now the woman I've seen her fought for us, the woman I've seen every single day not getting tired, now she's not okay. That thing, by the way, humbled me so much. And I told God I would never take my mom for granted. And if mom have ever taken you for granted these seasons, please let people know. But ever since, I have never taken my mom for granted. I value her so much. I told God, if you heal my mom, I will never take my mom for granted. So I like her when she's happy. By the way, I'd rather not be happy, but if my mom is happy, yeah. So we continue that for almost a week. So these things, actually, when I'm saying this actually feels like a full decade when I'm explaining this, but it's because things are happening so fast. You understand? Things are happening so fast that I cannot even understand how things got to this place where my mom is actually being admitted. The people who we thought were going to be there for us did not come. The closest friends that we thought that were my mom's friends, they never came. We were just with me and my uncle, just like now. We always me, my uncle, my mom, and our few friends like T, like Lucy. You understand? Like those are my circles. And now my husband. I love my husband. Yeah, it's just okay like that. Yeah. So at this point, I know you're asking yourself where my siblings are. I also don't know. So I'm not gonna address that. So I'm just here with my mom. And I'm left now to become a big girl who is meant to know that my mom needs to be okay. My mom needs to have this and this. And I remember one time after I have cried, because one thing I forgot to add is that at this point I'm also sick. I have not realized that I've also contracted the pneumonia. You understand? So I'm also sick because most of the times we are in contact with my mom. So I am also sick. So I don't have the money to go to the hospital. I remember there's this friend of mine. I shout out to Douglas, by the way. There's a guy called Douglas, a very amazing doctor. He doesn't have a big hospital, but I know one thing for sure. That guy's heart will make him one day have a very big hospital. So I went to him. I went to Douglas crying. I told Douglas, you know what? My mom is in a very bad condition. I am actually sick. I don't have even money. As you see me, I'm just terrible. So he was like, no, I'm going to give you medication. I'm going to give you medication for free. You'll be coming for injections every single day. Oh my God. And guess where the injections were? I'm not going to tell you. So I had to go for the injections every single day. So it made me much better, because I was also feeling weak, but I could not do anything. So I had just reached at a place where, let me go to this one person. If he's going to treat me, it's okay. If he doesn't treat me, then it's fine. So we had a very good chemistry with Douglas, because at one point he helped me, and up to now I'm grateful. You understand? So Douglas was like, you know what? I want to help you. So he helped me. Every day I would go for medications, as I've said. So as I go for medications, but I would do medications either very early in the morning so that I can make it to the hospital, or I actually go now in the evening, you understand, so that I can be able to make it, so that I can be able to make enough time to go to the hospital and come back. So you see these things are happening. I am also, and then I had a syringe over here, and so I could not do things with both hands. I would have to do things with one hand. So at this time, I am still going to help my mom, but at the same time, I am also sick. So you can imagine, my mom is also at a place we do not know what her fate is, but we are praying. So I remember one time, I thank God so much. So I might not have been so close to him, but one thing he used to just give me scenarios. He used to give me scenarios to just go to him. So I remember I was tired of sleeping in my bedroom. So I took the mattress and I actually did what? I placed it outside. Because I felt a little bit better, I decided, let me do laundry. So it was on Sunday, or no, it was on Tuesday. On Sunday previously, there was this pastor who came in on TV and he was busy and ministering, and he said, let me pray. If you have a sick person in the hospital, pray. I want to pray for you. I was like, today I'm going to join in my faith with this pastor. I do not know him. I don't even know his name. But because of my mom, I'm going to pray. And I had one thing in mind. As I pray, this week my mom is going to be discharged. And that's how now we are going back to how she got out of oxygen. So now I am here praying. Remember, I have this tiny, we didn't even have this big, mattress. We had a very tiny mattress that I was using for school, in my previous school, now in high school. So but it was comfortable. So I placed it now down. So I was sleeping from that place. So that's where I would eat. That's where I would also watch, television. Yeah, I was just like in my own zone. I was in my little vacation, lies. That was not even a vacation. So, and I would not cook. If I cook, I felt like, even why am I cooking? I'm busy eating while my mom is in the hospital. That cannot be me. So I used to feed on milk and some cakes. And I know for people who are in Europe, they kind of feel like, I'm talking about, very sweet cakes. No, these are just cakes to help you. You see, like the ones for starters. Yeah, so I was just having that. So I actually became emaciated like this. And then I did not even make my hair. My hair was so, everything was going on my hair because it was so unkempt. I didn't have even time for that. I didn't see the value for life. And that was the first time I went to Nairobi. And that was the very first time I went to Nairobi without even thinking if my hairstyle was okay. Right now, I can't go like that. I was not even thinking I could not think even if I'm happy, if I'm okay, if my hair is fine, if I look neat. Me, the way I'd wake up, that's where I'd go to see my mom. I did not care about anything else because she was everything, you understand? And for the first time in life, I had not even seen anyone that sick, you understand? And I think that is the reason why I didn't even go to see my grandma in hospital. It would have really traumatized me. It's not a very good scenario. So I'm at that place where I'm now hanging my clothes. Remember, I did laundry, remember? So it's now on Tuesday. Remember, I did laundry, as I said. Now I am preparing. I now start, washing, beddings. I've now, mastered the courage and have the confidence in God that my mom is getting healed because this pastor said so. I don't even know that pastor. Yeah, so I have now, I'm just there spreading the clothes because now I want my mom to find her things to be, I want her to find a clean room. I rated her beddings outside. I just want her to find, a clean room that doesn't have those bacteria so that she cannot now go back to being worse. You understand? So at that time, my mom calls me. I look at her phone, honestly, because she used to text. She could not even call. So she calls me and she tells me that the doctor has said that she needs to be discharged. I'm like, what? The way you've prayed to God, yes, it's going to happen, but you're not that sure. You're not that certain that mom is going to get discharged, like, that fast. I was like, what? I was like, where is that doctor? Can you talk to that doctor? Has he even checked whether you are breathing well and okay? And then my mom was just like, she's that person with it. She's sometimes nonchalant. Don't see her like that. She's like, yeah, I'm okay. You just come and see me. you just come and take me home. So my uncle, I tell my uncle, hey, have you heard so and so? My mom has told me that she has been told to be discharged. So and she will not be able to walk. At that time, she's being discharged, but she's not walking. You understand? Every story is going to be a little bit long, so I want you to just we are reflecting about the goodness of the Lord. So this is how the Holy Spirit is actually leading us. So yeah, so my mom is being discharged, but she's not okay in real sense, yani in terms of she doesn't have the strength to do things. You understand? Now I call my uncle. I tell my uncle, they've actually told me that mom is going to be discharged today. They don't feel like she's safer in the hospital right now because she's now improving. She doesn't need to be with other patients. So at that time, my uncle is like, okay, cool. I'm just going to grab my car. He had a very good car, because at that time, I don't know what would have done. And now this is also an amazing part. What God cannot do does not exist. So my mom cannot go with Uber, cannot go with taxi. Either she's airlifted, or you need like cabin, you understand, those double cabin cars, yes, so that she can be able to sit, well, you understand, according to the doctor, and her wheelchair, you understand. So that is what actually happened, you understand. That is what actually happened. My uncle came, we took my mom, off the hospital, and of course she's very weak, she can't do things for herself. My uncle, being very kind, he took us for shopping. We went and did our monthly shopping. The way we did, nothing changed. Remember, we don't have our money. It is him who is like, you know what? I don't want this girl, my sister, to actually feel anything empty, or to feel like, you know what, they are at a very bad place. No, so they were like, let me just do shopping. So they went with my auntie, Sophie, and they went and did shopping for us. And we were so comfortable the entire time. And guess how God does things. So how did we clear? Because we didn't even have money. That's what I've forgotten to tell you. How did we even clear? I want to take you back a little bit. How did we actually clear the bill yet we do not have money? See how God works. My mom had previously enrolled, remember that insurance we were talking about? Because she was an active member at that time, and they had not yet cancelled her out, they decided that cover was going to help her. Yeah, so we went and cleared with them, and they looked at her insurance and they were like, okay, yeah, she can actually clear with this, you understand? So that's how my mom got cleared, and that's why I didn't have any debts. That was God. So now coming back home, this is the reality. Now, I have online classes. I have a sick mom. Now she's fully in the house as I wanted. Okay, the whole responsibility is on me, because my uncle has also other things to do, and he has to also look for money so that he can give us. Okay, you understand, people have things to do, so he can't be there with us. The wife is also working, you understand, so I am there. I should know how I'm actually listening to my lectures, or following through my lectures and my cards as I listen to my mom. So I take remember that small mattress of mine, I take that small mattress, I place it beside her bed. Is it beside, just down there, you understand, because I can't sleep with her. We were advised to let her sleep comfortably, you understand. So at this time, she's at a very bad stage where she would require help at one given time. So I would be listening. I had to mute my lectures most of the times, because I am listening to her, because at times she would tell me, Ash, I want to go to the toilet, Ash, I want to do this, because she can't do things for herself. But one thing I said, God, give me the strength and the wisdom to know how to deal with this condition that she has now, so that she can improve, because I had been told she's going to improve. Another person I've forgotten to add, my mom's best friend, may her soul rest in peace, was also a major part of us, because she would send us money so that we can be able to do what? To at least get someone to help us. But let me tell you, human beings can frustrate you. So we actually brought 2 girls who are not doing their job, you understand? They would spoil things. If it is eggs, they would spoil. If it is food, they would spoil. Yani, they would not give you the service that you had paid for. So I told my mom, you know what, this girl has to go. I will take care of you myself. So I have all these baggages, my studies, my mom, you understand, and every other thing that I need to do in that house. I became the cook. You understand? The way I don't like cooking, but I don't like cooking. I know how to cook, but I don't like cooking. So I had to make sure that my mom would also, get sunlight outside, so she can be able to at least, get better and stronger. And let me tell you, the most difficult part was that whenever, one thing about my mom I love, at this point, she had been told by my uncle, if she found that maybe she's feeling that the drugs are not taking her very well, she should tell my uncle so that my uncle can actually know what to do. So sometimes I am sent to go and add her some drugs, you understand? So what I'd do, I would run. Hey, God. The way I don't like running, I would run so that I can make it in good time, because my mom cannot go to the toilet alone. She cannot do things for herself, so I need to make it on time. I would listen to this lecture like this. I would listen to this other lecture like that, you understand, while I do other things, because at this time my mom needs full concentration. To a point that, you know what, she even pitied me, because I have to concentrate on my studies and concentrate on her. How I managed, I could not imagine. Sometimes we have cards, and guess what? I used to pass. Funny thing, I don't even have full concentration. I was not there in class. I don't have so much time to read, but I would pass all my exams with straight A's. You understand? I was really happy. So when I look at this situation, I thought for a very fair fact I was gonna lose my mom. You understand? But God was there with me. Like, God knew that, I don't have any other person. And as you can see from all these stories I've told you about our accident, and we were with my mom still, and right now we also, when she's sick in 2020, I'm also with her. But you see, God providing help. God providing help, God providing people. And the people you banked on at that time, but I think the people you bank on during your worst times, they are never there for you. So God also gave me another view of life. And that's why, by the guys, I don't care who lives my life. I am always so much into treating people accordingly and treating them with respect. When I feel like the respect is not there, I just leave it. You understand? God showed me that, He's the Alpha and the Omega. He's the script writer. When he brings a storm, he still knows how he will still know how to calm it. And I know one time I'm going to bring my mom here, so that one day I'm going to bring a lot of people. So that one day you can also see, like my mom at that time, for her, she was also on assignment. As much as she was sick, she would not think about herself. She's in that oxygen, but she spent most of her time praying, you understand? Especially at night, she would pray. During all those skills where, some are being taken to the morgue, some are being taken to different places. You can imagine you being at a place where you are worse, but you are busy thinking about other people. I also feel like God also saw her heart, that she was so willing to pray for other people. And this brought me to a place of just knowing that the things we take for granted, for sure, God looks at us and he's just like, I don't understand these people. So today, I just came in with a heart of gratitude to just look at the things that they are not tangible, but when I look at them, I see God. And with that being said and done, I don't want to end this episode just ordinary. I want to sing a song. Yeah, and I might not have the best voice, by the way, but I want to sing to God, because if there's one, by the way, yesterday there was a very difficult prayer I did. I did a prayer that I told God to help me, remove attention from the things that do not serve me, you understand? To stop giving love to things like material things, like people, more than him, so that he can be able to take that love and give it back to, and also point it out now back to him. You understand that I want to love God. I want him to just be my priority. I want him to be my center of my world, because where God has done, and there are so many testimonies that if I tell you, you just be like, So today I'm just here to just reflect with you guys and just see the goodness of the Lord. And so with that, I love to sing. And also thank God. I didn't expect anything on Girlfriend's Day, but yeah, I have nice friends today, so good men exist, okay? Yeah, so today, my friends took me out for Girlfriend's Day. So we have good men that still exist. So I thank God. I was not expecting, you understand? Yeah, so it was a simple gesture, but I thank God, you understand? So God, I'm grateful. So I want to sing a song. I hope time will also allow me, and because my phone is about to shut down, but let me sing quickly. You understand? Oh, be lifted above all other gods. We lay our crowns and worship you. Oh, glorious God, we praise your name. We lay our crowns and worship you. Oh, glorious God, we praise your name. We lay our crowns and worship you. Oh, be lifted above all other gods. We lay our crowns and worship you. Oh, glorious God, we praise your name. We lay our crowns and worship you. We lay our crowns and worship you. Let me see if you'll have time for another one. I hope you enjoyed from this particular video. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've reached at a place of gratitude. I hope that you see God differently. You've stopped seeing yourself as unworthy and you've actually started seeing yourself at a place where God has loved you so much and given you so much more than you have ever asked for. You understand? It may not be materialized, but you just being alive, you just having your good health, it is something that no one can give you apart from God. So be thankful today. Be thankful today. So without being said and done, I want to end this episode